So you own a home and you're thinking about moving. Do you buy and sell or sell and buy? I'm going to go over all your options and the risks and benefits to each option. Roll intro. I'm Jen Sylvester with RE/MAX Spectrum here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. So you're thinking about moving, but you don't know where to start. So I get this question all the time. Homeowner calls, they want to move up to a bigger house or maybe downsize to a smaller house, but they don't know where to start. There are essentially four most common options, and we're going to take a look at those today. The first option is to put the house on the market and wait until the house goes under contract before making an offer on their next purchase. There are definitely benefits to doing it this way. The first benefit being that if your house doesn't sell or if you change your mind, you can take the house off the market. You're not contractually obligated to purchase anything because you haven't committed to anything to purchase. Another benefit is that when your house goes under contract and then you go to make an offer on another property, the fact that your house is under contract will look favorably to the seller that you're trying to make the offer to. What about the drawbacks to putting your house on the market first and then waiting to buy something else? One of the biggest drawbacks is the loss of time, the time to find your next home. Now, typically, when you accept an offer, you'll negotiate in with the buyer a period of time to go house hunting. You'll get a week, 2 weeks longer if you're lucky. But that period of time, the clock starts ticking and now you have to go find your next home. And with the market the way it is and the inventory being as low as it is, you're going to feel a lot more pressure to potentially find another property. Now, one way to circumvent this, and one way I advise with my clients when they put their house on the market, is as the property is going on the market, we start looking, we look at properties, we kind of select our A, our B, our C choices, and kind of have those on the back burner so that we're ready to make a move on those once we have an offer on your property. Now, another option is to sell the home, move into temporary housing, and then buy at a later time. Now, there are definitely benefits to doing it this way. One big benefit is that you won't have to have a home sale contingency when you go to make an offer on another property. The other benefit is you can take your time when you're looking for a property. Compared to the last example where you may only have a week or 2 weeks to find a property, this gives you the benefit of having 2, 3, 4 months to look for a property. Now, there are definitely risks to doing it this way as well. One is if you're in an appreciating home value market, like we're in right now. Whereas if you take 6 months to buy a home, that property value in 6 months could be well more than what it is worth today. The other potential risk are interest rates. If you're in a situation where you need to take a mortgage, we don't know what the interest rates are going to be in 2, 3, 4, 6 months. So you could be paying more for the same house in 6 months because the rate is higher. So you don't want to put your house on the market without having another house picked out. And you don't want to put your house up for sale and go into temporary housing. Well, there's a third option that you may want to consider. The third option is making an offer on a property with a home sale contingency. Home sale contingency essentially is a contingency that says that your ability to purchase that property is subject to you selling your property. Now, that may sound like a perfect scenario because it allows you to go house hunting, pick out the perfect house, and then not commit to putting your house on the market until all your ducks are in a row. But there are definitely some drawbacks to that as well. There are a lot of benefits to doing it this way. One benefit being that you don't have to commit to selling your house until you find the right property. However, with every option, there's also a drawback. And the biggest drawback to that particular option is that you lose negotiation power with your potential seller. When you make an offer that has a home sale contingency, essentially the seller has to take a chance that you're going to be able to sell your house in a fair amount of time before you can continue on the transaction. In a market like this where the buyers far outnumber the number of sellers, it is pretty common to be in competition with other buyers for the same property. And when the seller is sitting at the kitchen table reviewing all the offers that they received on their property, and they have one buyer that does not have a house to sell and another buyer that does have a house to sell, and the house isn't even on the market yet, you can bet that that seller is going to lean towards the the buyer that does not have a home sale contingency. Now there's one more option, and that involves buying first and then selling second. If you have an outstanding mortgage on the first property and you plan to carry a mortgage on the new property, essentially you need to be in financial position to be able to carry both mortgages at the same time. And there are several ways you can do this. If you have equity in your first property that you can take out as a down payment for the second property, that's one option. Another option is a bridge loan. And a bridge loan will allow you to carry both mortgages at the same time for a short period of time. Once you sell that first property and take those proceeds, put them towards the second property, then you'll refinance and finance into a conventional mortgage. Now the downside of this is the obvious, that you're going to have to carry two mortgages at the same time. The other downside is the unknown factor of how long it's going to take to sell that first house. Now in the market that we have today, where we have such a fast-paced, heavily seller-favored market, it's less of a risk to have to carry both those properties at the same time. But nonetheless, it's still a risk. So that's 4 options to consider when you're trying to figure out how to navigate how to sell and buy another property. There's no right or wrong way, and there is not a one-size-fits-all. Everyone's situation is different. I'm happy to help you put together your own personal roadmap on what works best for you. Please call or email me anytime. Have a great day.